If your grow room smells, your filter's not doing its job. And if it's restricting airflow, it's holding your whole system back. Ventilation isn't just about moving air, it's about controlling it too. A good setup keeps temperatures stable, humidity in check, and the air fresh. But none of that matters if your filters can't keep up. Low quality filters can block airflow, wear out fast, and still let odours escape. And that means more strain on your fans and a really unstable environment for your plants. So what you need is a filter that removes smells efficiently without restricting airflow. A filter that's built with precision, tested in real-world conditions, and trusted by growers everywhere. And that's exactly what you get with CarboAir. CarboAir filters are designed and built for professional growers who expect strong, consistent results. Each unit is handmade and sealed in the EU, and they're all packed full of pure, virgin-activated granular carbon, which is the highest grade for filtration. Every filter in the CarboAir range is packed to exact density specifications. This gives you maximum odour control with minimal airflow resistance. Every model has been tested alongside Systemair and Revolution fans. This achieves the best airflow, pressure and contact time throughout the carbon bed. You can find airflows and pressure curves for each of the fan and filter combinations on our website. Winning Garden Culture magazine's most sold and growers' favourite carbon filter for 2018, 2020, 2022 and 2024. For smaller grow spaces, the CarboAir 50 provides reliable filtration with a 50mm carbon bed. If you want to position your filter outside of your grow room, the CarboAir Inline fits perfectly into your ducting system without compromising on airflow. The CarboAir 100 can be used as a scrubber alongside your usual fan and filter combination to further purify the air in your grow room. And at the top of the range is the CarboAir Pro 60, our flagship model. It has a 60mm bed, which means longer contact time with the carbon, eliminating more odours. Carbon filters are purpose-built to work with Systemair fans, including RVK, the K series and Revolution. CarboAir isn't about gimmicks or guesswork, it's about engineered efficiency. Clean air in, clean air out, every time.
In the core of every single one of our carbon filters is a miracle material, virgin activated carbon. The actual carbon holds 3 times more air than is actually in the atmosphere around it, just as it sits inside its carbon filter. And it has the fantastic properties of removing volatile organic compounds from air, as well as sound absorption. So carbon filters inside your room would be attached to a fan. As a fan sucks the air through the filter, the air pushes through the sides, and as it hits the carbon, any larger molecules such as volatile organic compounds that create smell attach to the surface of the carbon. The surface area of the carbon is just an astronomically large number that is even hard to even think about. But as the air travels into the carbon, it bumps along and any large molecules will be absorbed onto the surface. A small chemical reaction will happen between the carbon and the large molecule, which will just hold it in place until it breaks down and disappears and goes back out into the atmosphere, at which point it won't smell anymore. The main differences between the different filters that we sell is the size of the carbon that's in the filter. So some filter beds are smaller and they have finer carbon, some are bigger and they have larger carbon, which means that we can have longer life or easier airflow depending on what type of filter you want to use. Right, so the best way to match your fan and filter is to look on our website where we've done it for you. Particularly with the Systemair and CarboAir filters, then it's an incredibly accurate process that's tried and tested. We've also matched up our Rhino fans with Rhino filters and the Hyper fans with fresh filters. The best possible way of matching up the two together is just to go on the website and check out what we've done for you already.
These filters were introduced around about 5 or 6 years ago from a Dutch manufacturer who's been manufacturing filters well over 30 years. I chose that manufacturer because he created some of the best filters. He'd been in the game longer than most and his carbon is always bang on. So the difference between CarboAir filters and a lot of other filters on the market is basically how they're made. A European filter, if you look, will always have a really fine mesh, where a Chinese carbon or a Chinese filter will have bigger pieces. That's just the way they've always made them. The European filters always look for a small mesh. CarboAir filters use a special kind of carbon. It's like a wood-based, coconut-based carbon, where a lot of the other filters on the market use a coal-based carbon. The reason we use a wood-based carbon is basically because it becomes super, super porous and it's really, really light. and really big on the volume. So when you're filling a big filter like this with the wood-based carbon, the volume's huge, but it makes it really, really light and really, really easy to use because you can handle it a lot better. Also, with the wood-based carbon, it's really, really porous. So that means when you're putting a lot of airflow through the filter, the carbon will attract the organic compound and trap it in there as well. So the more airflow that you put through a CarboAir filter, the kind of better it works because it gets penetrating deep into that wood-based carbon. Nothing wrong with cold carbon-based filters. To be fair, a cold carbon-based filter will handle humidity better, but what it will do, it will reduce your airflow of your fan by about 15–20%, where these don't really reduce your fan's airflow because the pressure is a lot easier to pass through the carbon, where a cold carbon filter will be a lot heavier and it will reduce your fan speed. So if I'm running a CarboAir filter on a 6-inch fan in a normal room, that'll be fine. If I take the CarboAir filter out and put a coal-based carbon on, what I'm going to do is have to turn that fan up, or I'm going to have to go up one size to make sure I get the same amount of air volume out of the room as I would with a CarboAir filter. These filters allow a lot of airflow through the filter. Taking care of a CarboAir filter. When you're running a filter, you can't just run it at really, really, really high humidity, especially CarboAir filter, because it's really, really porous, light carbon. If you're running consistently over 70%, you've got to have a lot of airflow. The carbon filter is made to get rid of all the smell, get rid of the odor in the room, or the organic compounds. A carbon filter and a fan sucks the hot air out and filters the room. Don't use a fan and filter to reduce your humidity. If you're in an LED room and you're creeping past that 65–70% mark, use a dehumidifier. If you're running a really, really high humidity room and your fan and filter are on and it's sucking all that humidity into the carbon, it's going to damage the carbon. We get filters back sometimes, and when we open them up, they're full of white calcium. That proves that the filter and fan combination, similar to this, it's had a humidifier basically underneath it. All that humidity has been going through the carbon, out of the carbon, all the calcium what's in the water gets trapped in there, and literally inside the filter it's white calcium. We know that the humidity has been off the scale to do that. We never get filters back from CarboAir if they're used perfectly, which is high airflow, high air volume, relatively low humidity. When you're looking after one, you see this white foam on the side. This is a pre-filter. What the pre-filter does, it basically stops any dust, any air particles collecting in the carbon and really slowing it down, stopping it working. I would say change the pre-filter every single grow. So run a filter for the period of time that you're flowering. When you've finished everything, whip this off, put a new one on. Your filter will last twice as long if you're cleaning this pre-filter constantly. That's about it for a carbon filter. Not really much maintenance whatsoever. Just make sure that you're running a really high airflow. You've got really relatively low humidity, 65, no more than 75 plus, and you change that pre-filter all the time. CarboAir filters, all the small variants come with the hanging brackets, which makes them really, really easy to hang. Make sure that your fan is connected to here with a clamp. You're ducting on there, and that's straight out of the room. Less kinks, the better, because the kinks in the ducting will reduce the airflow, putting more pressure on the fan and filter. So that's it for CarboAir. Back to Sarah in the studios. Cheers, guys.
CarboAir filters are hand-built in the EU to the highest specifications, which is why they continue to be one of the most trusted filter brands within the industry. If you found this video helpful, hit like, leave your questions in the comments and follow us for more product focus.